Hello, and welcome to the Laney College video series on the Introduction to Digital Photography. Today we're going to deal with speed. In other lessons, we have dealt with challenges with focus that had different causes, but we're going to deal specifically today with the effects of motion, specific speed motion. I'm down the hill from where I live at a frontage road. I've placed my camera on a tripod and I've fixed my focus with a fair amount of depth of field so that things stay sharp. Everything else is sharp, but as cars go by at 40 miles an hour at a 60th of a second, you can see blurring. And this blurring, you can see it mostly in the highlights. You don't see it quite so much in the darks. See that blurring? See how much that car is moving at a 60th of a second. At 125th of a second, which is twice as fast, the blurring, you can see, has reduced. And those highlights right here, see that? That car is not covering as much ground in a shorter time period. In a shorter time period yet, it's covering even less ground. You can see this little motion in here, that's spinning. This little motion in here, it's covering less ground because we're using a faster shutter speed. In the previous examples, motion was going from left to right or right to left. Now I have motion of those vehicles at the same speed coming at me. And the effect of motion is different. Look at the highlights. Look at the highlights. You don't get the sense that there's a whole lot of motion going on. Now you can see that it's blurred at a 60th of a second, but look what happens at 125th. All of a sudden things sharpen up a lot. And that's because the image is coming at you. The object is coming at you. We're going to use a technique here called panning. Now this is all handheld, and you can see from the background moving that my camera is moving along with the vehicle. Now I didn't do too great a job here. This guy's going by really fast. But I'm using a very slow shutter speed. And I picked that up to 1/60th of a second, which was real blurry when the car was going by, when the camera was not moving. And now you can start to see detail. And with some rehearsal, we can get really good at panning. Look at how sharp this stuff is, right? In the next image, I had time to practice this image. Didn't have a very sensitive ISO camera at the time, but I had practiced the image and found the shutter speed that I felt would work. And you can see how crisp this is in here. This is the part that's traveling in the same direction as the camera's going. Alvin's head's bouncing, so it blurs. The bike is bouncing, so it blurs a bit. But at the same time, this is real crisp. This one was something that was just grabbed by one of my coaches. You can see that there's some panning going on. You know, this is all blurry. The interesting thing that you see here is the panning to follow the head. Look at how sharp this is in here. Now with practice and a faster shutter speed and a more sensitive ISO, this could be sharper. But this is one of those things that happened really fast. No one can make any preparation. He's doing about 30 miles an hour into this turn. He's laying the bike down to get through it. Look at the people here. They are concerned. He comes through this successfully. But this also talks about how the camera shows us the world in a way different from the way we see it with our eyes. And I think that's a really exciting thing for us to be thinking about. Because we're going to see that in other ways when we take photographs of people. And we look forward to showing that to you. Thank you for your kind attention.